quiet on the set? Can we please have quiet on the set?
I was muted. Just kidding. We're live, pal. Welcome to Renegades Recap here on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Constantine Studios channel. I am the host and clearly the working producer who knows exactly what he's doing at all times. Good old JM, Jeff Meacham. I'm going to throw it now to the man who is truly the man behind the magic of Renegades Recap, Renegades Reviews, and yeah, probably the dads, because he does this way better than I do. The Renegade himself, JJ Williams. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for that introduction. How are you doing today, sir? Hope you're feeling better. I know you've made it known out there on social media the last couple of days that you haven't been feeling the best. Hope you're doing well today.
I am doing better than I probably sound. And in about 10 minutes ago, I sounded even worse. So
this is accurate.
Yeah, God, I was comparing myself to Bobby. It sounded like I was talking with Mr. Ed's tongue. God bless him. It's definitely been a week. I'm not gonna lie. It's never fun being sick. It's especially not fun being sick when you're trying to build an empire. And I had to miss out on at least two shows this week. If you count Rewind, it's the third show because that's not going up again this week because I didn't get a tape yesterday for a number of reasons. So, but we're here. And what a month it's been for you, sir. It's been a very interesting month. A complete shift from one half to the next because you started off with these beautiful romantic comedies and these chick flicks that, more often than not, tug at your heartstrings in a romantic, sweet, lovey-dovey way. And then you get in the second half and it really, the movies that make you think. The movies that, granted, full disclosure, as a sheltered white boy, make you go, huh, interesting. So.
Very much so, very much so. And I apologize if it looks like I'm looking down here. I'm trying to find something, but it doesn't look like it's going to pop up anytime soon.
Uh-oh.
Like you said, it has been quite the interesting month on Renegades Reviews. Thank you to all that have been watching. I did a quick count before I canned my most recent episode about an hour ago, and I've seen about 250 views just on this month's content alone. And the month still has 3 days to go, so
that's very cool.
More reviews. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, to a lot of people, 250 views doesn't seem like a lot, but when you've been dormant for the better part of 5 years,
right?
250 views in a month is pretty good. And I've actually even started to see on my Anchor that I'm starting to pick up listens over there. Nothing to write home about, a whopping 12.
Hey.
But, again, when you're first starting out in this thing, 12 listens is a lot, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I'm already reaching a global audience. Not only am I getting listens in the States, but a couple of listens came from the Philippines.
Which I found so fascinating doing my early Anchor stuff. And as I moved back into the YouTube universe, doing the analytics and seeing where these people are listening. Like, I had a fan who not only listened where he is, but was a repeat comment source from Saudi Arabia. It's like,
yeah,
what?
75% of my listens are from the good old US of A.
Right.
8% come from Canada. I wonder if that's our friend to the Norse, Miss Lisa there.
Very well could be.
And then 16% of it is from the Philippines. And, like you said, that's just crazy to me to think that 16% of my 12 listens, so what is it, like 2, maybe 3, are coming from the Philippines? But still, it's trippy.
Yeah, it's very weird. And again, I go back doing this a lot farther than you do. I've made no, whatever about that.
Yeah.
But just it still astounds me to this day that we've got people in the Philippines, the people in down in Australia and New Zealand, I managed to get a decent chunk of audience, basically in every, as Dusty would have said, every corner of the globe, baby.
Yep.
Like they're all over the place, and I go, wow, it kind of makes you, it really humbles your ass. I'll tell you that right now.
Definitely humbling, and it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. It's very, very cool to know that, somewhere we actually made some sort of an impact where people want to listen to us, spew our, spew our rhetoric about wrestling or about movies or whatever. It's just very bizarre to me. Very bizarre, but very cool. And we do appreciate everybody out there watching and listening. It's very much appreciated.
Definitely. And, I'd like to touch on a couple of the comments that I've received over the past month. One of them, all of them come from YouTube, obviously. I don't have any comments on the Anchor side of things.
Oh, okay.
The first comment comes from Scott Campbell on my episode of There's Something About Mary.
Oh.
And he says, after watching this, I had to rewatch the movie. I forgot how much I liked that movie.
Right.
Thank you, Scott. It's nice to know that my reviews inspired somebody to go back in their archives, find this, dust it off, if you will, and pop it in for another go round, because that's what I'm hoping to do.
Right.
Until such point where the theaters out here open and I can go start seeing new releases as they drop.
Right.
I want to inspire people to maybe revisit a film that they hadn't seen in a long time, or discover something they've never seen at all in all the years,
That's the key, brother. I love that.
Breakfast at Tiffany's was around in the 60s, and here I am some 60 years later almost seeing it for the first time.
Same with me.
That's what I'm hoping to inspire. Our buddy Double A, former member of the Casa D18 family.
Yes.
On Soul Food, he commented, every time I see this movie, I think of my family getting together for Christmas, especially before my grandma passed. That was a decent review, bro. Thanks for sharing.
Very nice. I love that.
Thank you, Double A. You will always be Double A to me. I know you said you don't want to go by that anymore, but you will always be Double A to me, bro. And then Carnius, who is a frequent commenter on my videos. He commented quite a few times during Tom Hanks month. 13 going on 30, he says, another great review. I'm not even really into this movie, but you are pretty captivating at how you explain the plot. Which
is very cool to hear. That the movie's secondary, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, he's more giving me praise on my delivery on the movie and the plot, as I always try to do. My first 10 to 15 minutes, I always try to go over the plot points, cliff notes, if you will, for those that don't want to spend an hour and a half or 2.5 hours watching the film.
Right.
Which
by the way, 13 going on 30 is not my usual cup of tea, and it never really was. I enjoy that movie. I think it's cute as hell. I really do, and it's definitely worth a watch, whether you're usually a fan of that genre or not. It's so cute. It's so good. It's so well done. Surprisingly well done, I dare say.
Rewatching it like I did, I remembered that was my first exposure to Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, there you go.
Who, of course, would go on to be the Hulk in the Avengers,
Right, yep. Very true.
I talked on the review about the ties that film has to the Marvel Universe between Jennifer Garner as Elektra, Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk,
yep.
Andy Serkis, Ulysses Claw, Brie Larson, the future Captain Marvel, when she was still like a little girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to see all of these actors and actresses that would go on and play prominent roles in the MCU, it's really kind of an interesting way to go into things. And if you're not a fan of chick flicks, watch it for that.
Yes.
Gives
Exactly.
you a reason to look at it, through some different eyes.
Agreed. Exactly. It's really what I like about your show is that there's a lot of stuff on here and on your channel that you review that I've never seen before. I've never had the opportunity to watch before, and it makes me almost force me. Okay, I got to go watch this to make sure I know what he's talking about. That way, if he calls upon me for help, I know what the hell I'm talking about. So It's very. I mean, it's funny. We'll talk about next week in a little bit here, but I've only seen the one movie I'm starting with you for next month once, and then the other one I've seen more only because of you and my sister and things like that. I've seen that movie more because it's just there. But yeah, a lot of these you're gonna preview this coming month, and then a lot of the stuff you did here I hadn't seen before. I was like, shit, I better get on my ball.
That's actually what I'm looking forward to for next month, and it's a great transition into next month. Thank you for bringing that up there. I'm really looking forward to the month of March because I'd say a good 90% of those films I've never seen before.
Right.
There are only a handful of those movies that I own on DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
Most of those, most of those I'm going to be watching off of Tubi, which is, for those of you that don't know, is a streaming site very similar to Netflix.
Right.
I would say about 90% of the movies are on there free to watch. So if anybody wants to watch them, and then go and watch my review, I definitely encourage you guys to. But off the top of my head, Mr. Nanny, Suburban Commando, They Live, Ready to Rumble, and The Wrestler.
Right.
And Legendary.
Yeah.
I think are the only ones that I have seen start to finish.
Yes.
Prior to getting ready to review them. I have now seen No Holds Barred all the way through, and we will get into our review for that on March 1st, on this man's birthday, as we address the very first starring vehicle of Hulk Hogan.
That's it, brother.
But that's only 6 out of 31 movies.
Yeah.
That I have seen before. And when you consider how long I was a wrestling fan,
right,
you would think I maybe would have seen more of these.
Yes.
However, I do want to point out the fact that there are some movies that I left off that I do actually own on DVD because I wanted to tackle some of the ones on the streaming site because you never know when they're going to get pulled.
Right. Very true.
That's the problem with streaming sites is these movies will be up there for a month or 2 or 3, maybe even a full year, and then get pulled.
Yeah.
And then you don't know when they're going to come back. So the fact that all these movies with wrestlers are on there right now, free to stream, I wanted to try to tackle them while I could. So, like I have Knucklehead over here in my collection, I passed on that one for now. I have a good chunk of Dwayne The Rock's filmography over here in my collection. I put that on hold for now. I might actually go ahead and do a Rocky month because I've got so many of his movies that I could probably fit them all into a month, and especially if I count the stuff like Fast and the Furious, which granted there were 4 movies before he stepped into the franchise.
Right.
So, you know, if I do those 4 building up to his entry, and then the 5 he's been in since then,
Right.
you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, Hobbs and Shaw. That right there is 9 movies for Dwayne month.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there you go.
You know, it's 2 Jumanji films that if I throw those with the original Jumanji, well, now I've booked 12 days.
Yeah.
You know, there's 2 G.I. Joe films, one of which he's in. So if I do those back to back, there's 14 days. You know, and I haven't even scratched the surface of Walking
No,
Tall,
and that's
Rundown,
right.
Scorpion
Yeah, I
King,
was going to
etc.
say, yeah, there's a whole lot there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of meat on the Dwayne bone if I choose to devote an entire month to the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment.
Right. Exactly. Yep. It's interesting that, you know, when you think about the fact that, you know, we were going to do this month, which, by the way, we'll go ahead and run the trailer right now since we're talking about the future anyway. In case you guys are wondering what's coming up next and what we're, if you didn't figure it out on the clues that we so stealthily laid out there,
Right?
here's what's coming up. Let me cue it up, and all right, here's what's. Oh, there it is. Here we go.
You know, I think my clues and everything, my words, were about as obvious as a Shawn Michaels oversell.
Yeah.
But, you know, movies that star wrestlers,
Yes.
not that feature wrestlers. We're not going to be talking about movies with just a little 30-second blip of a wrestler,
Right.
a la Hollywood Hogan in Gremlins 2 or Muppets from Space. We're actually going to get into roles where wrestlers feature prominently in the movie.
Yep. Exactly.
I'd probably say the smallest role that I'm covering next month is Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride. And Andre the Giant is still a pretty big feature in The Princess Bride.
Yes, definitely. So,
you know, I mean, he's definitely not the top listed star, but his character is a major presence in that film.
Well, as it should be. It's Andre the Giant, and you can't not be you can't be a Andre and not be a force of nature. So, you know, it's kind of it's going to be interesting because, like I said, I've seen Princess Bride ad nauseum. I love that movie, but it's always good to hear a different or fresh or whatever you want to call it perspective on anything you do in life. And these movies, you know, I've seen a good chunk of them because I'm a wrestling fan. You know, by nature, I do want to see the stuff that's wrestler heavy because I'm a dork. So, but hearing your perspective and if you have a guest, hearing their perspective and you see the comments from their perspective, it's very different. And, you know, not the great part about wrestling and about entertainment as a whole, or even sports as a overall package, is it's best when people have different flavor varieties in their head. Like, not like if you go to an ice cream parlor and they have just chocolate ice cream, you're kind of bail. You're like, I need a choice. You know, with us and with the movies you do and with the shows we watch and everything, it's very much freaking, you know, Neapolitan. You very much go in there and it's chocolate vanilla strawberry, or, you know, Rocky Road or whatever. It's very, very essential to what we do.
I completely agree. And, just off the top of my head, some of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most are River of Darkness with Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, and Psycho Sid.
Yes.
The banner, as it showed during the trailer, even says featuring the stars of TNA, which I don't really remember Sid in TNA.
He wasn't.
But Angle and Nash definitely were for a while.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And to see Sid in a movie has definitely got me intrigued, because of all the wrestlers out there, Sid is probably the last one I would have pegged for a film.
Sid is the one we pick on the most, you and I also. And no, you don't see his leg in this movie as far as sticking out of the bone. It's okay, guys. It's fully safe for you and yours to watch. Don't worry.
Another one I'm looking forward to is the one with Kane and Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
Dolph is definitely a charismatic person by nature.
Right.
But to see him and Kane together, that very strikes me as like odd, almost as odd as Kane and Bryan did when they first formed their unit. It's like, how is this going to work? And then it worked perfectly. Team Hell No was just amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see the chemistry and the dichotomy between Dolph and Kane.
Yeah, and what we know now about Kane as far as his overall acting chops and how he does, he's very much more versatile than we figured when he played Jacob Goodnight in See No Evil.
Which I haven't seen those.
I haven't either. It's so funny. Like, I'm surprised you didn't add those here, but it's like, we have October for horror movies. So, and contrary to popular belief, no, Aaron, I'm not going to do just the Halloween movies again this year. I'm doing the whole saga, the whole box set is still over here. Where the hell did it go? Up there, chilling. I know. Sorry, Bruce, I haven't got past Friday the 13th Part 4. Life happens. But,
I was going to say, Bruce may say you're not missing much. So,
well, it's funny. I saw this is totally over in the weeds here, but I saw a list recently of the best horror sequels. Part 6 actually beat everything else. And I'm thinking to myself, somewhere Bruce is hemorrhaging over this. There's just no friggin' way that it's better than 2 or 3. Like, what the hell? But when you think about it, if nothing else, Part 6 has the best Jason resurrection of the whole series. It's so stupid, but it works. So, yeah, I've seen parts of Part 6. I like it. But, yeah, you're right as far as horror sequels are part of the thing. If you ever do a thing where it's just horror sequels, we're going to have a long month. Because some of them are just really bad. But
well, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I have been booking my month of October,
right?
And I'm trying to stay pre-80s.
Okay.
With the month of October this year, because I feel like justice needs to be given to the classics that inspired Texas Chainsaw, Michael, Freddy, Jason, Chucky.
Yes.
Those are all great, and you could do a month on those in a heartbeat.
I have. Yes. Yeah.
But going back deeper in the classics, covering the Universal Monsters, the Nosferatu and Phantom and Hunchback of the Silent Era, covering Night of the Living Dead, one of, if not the first horror films where the black character survives. Spoiler alert! From the 60s, okay? Get over it.
Seriously, it's been 60 years.
50-something years old.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of that needs to be delved into before we get into the murderers, if you will.
Right, the dreaded slashers.
But so those two, going back to the wrestling ones,
right?
Those two I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to the Shawn Michaels one, 90 Feet from Home.
Oh yeah,
because that sounds like it's going to be an interesting drama film, and he's acting alongside Eric Roberts, who been in a bunch of stuff, obviously.
Yes.
Al Snow's movie, I was kind of surprised that I stumbled upon a film that starred Al Snow.
Right.
So kind of interested in that one.
And Summer McFoley's going, wait, what? Al Snow's star? That doesn't make sense. I love you, Al. You know that. What's funny, for people that don't recognize the name Eric Roberts because it doesn't ring out, his most recent, oh yeah, it's that guy. He was Sal Maroni in the Dark Knight trilogy. He was that guy. Like he was the top mob boss other than Falcone. So yeah, he's definitely he's got a lot of respective credits to him. Him being in that movie is actually pretty cool for us wrestling dorks because number one, he's Eric Roberts, so he's number two, it's Julia Roberts' relative, which we all have Julia Roberts anyway. So it's definitely a good thing.
Most definitely. For your channel this month,
yes,
or next month, I guess technically, because we're still in February.
Right.
But for the movies with wrestlers featuring on the Jeff Meacham network, we are going to have Legendary, which of course the lead actor you can't see in the film, so that's going to be interesting watching a movie where you can't see the lead.
Yeah.
Along with Danny Glover and Patricia Clarkson, there's just a blur on screen for a good chunk of the film.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
I almost feel like I'm watching a Benoit match. It's just been erased because you can't see him. And then we'll be covering Mickey Rourke's The Wrestler,
right, on
the Jeff Meacham network.
Yeah, those will be the episodes that are on the Friday in place of Dad's episodes.
Yes. Then Jeff will be guest starring on his birthday on March 1st for No Holds Barred, starring his favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh, yes.
Hulk Hogan. You're going to have to make sure you dust off the Meachamania shirt for that one, brother.
It is right here, ready to go, brother. I might want the yellow one for that. We'll see how it goes.
So that one should be interesting because No Holds Barred is what it is, and we will leave it at that until we get deeper into it on Monday the 1st, which will actually be our very first live episode of Renegades Reviews.
Yes, we did point that out. We're supposed to record that today. No.
Jeff and I were going to can it today, but with Jeff feeling the way he's been feeling the last few days, we decided to give him a couple extra days to recoup. Also gives me a couple extra days to work on my notes for the film.
Yep.
Allows me to finish what I need to finish for this month before I worry about writing a review for next month.
Yes.
Which I'm a good boy. I only need to write one review now for this month for Ali, which I watched last night.
Yeah. It gives me a chance to prepare because I have to do this today, and then I'm going live with Aaron and the boys at 6:45. So I'm gonna be dragging my ass this weekend. Luckily, I have everything I need canned for Big Gold already. I just have to do a brief little intro and a brief little outro, and then I'm good. There's no pay-per-view this weekend, thank God, because a freaking 4-hour day in a row, that would kill me right now. But I do appreciate the allowance to do the show on Monday. And you know what? Live seems to be better. And like I said to you privately, a live reaction to something is almost always better because then it's like, well, now you know how you really feel. And now you know how, because granted, you and I both know how wonderful, how 5-star a movie, No Holds Barred is. But, for lack of a better term, I'm still seeing that movie with virgin eyes. I've only seen it once the whole way through. And this is my guy who I've never, really shied away from. I enjoy Suburban Commando, and that's a train wreck. I like Mr. Nanny. I think I'm one of 3 people who actually likes Mr. Nanny in the entire world. Not going to lie.
Suburban Commando is still my favorite Hogan film.
Right. Yeah,
between him and Christopher Lloyd, The Undertaker, it's classic, and we'll get more into that when that time comes
Yeah,
next month on
you guys
Renegades
definitely
Reviews.
need to watch Suburban Commando before you watch Jay's review of it. I can't recommend it enough. It is a mess, but it's fun. There you go. There it is. So, and if he's got that copy of it, it was probably $5 at work. So there you go. You can find it pretty much anywhere at this
Actually,
point.
I think it was $5 at Walmart when I got it.
There you go. So
I've had it for a while. I've had it since the old Casa days. That's how long I've had that DVD.
Now, granted, you're not going to want to dig your hands into a $5 bin now during the COVID era, right? But
not without gloves.
But it can't be more than $10 on Amazon, folks. Come on, like seriously. But yeah, it's really cute. I enjoy it. They're like you said, Christopher Lloyd. You don't expect Hogan and Christopher Lloyd to have a rapport, but damn it if they don't, man. They are. And then you got Shelley Duvall, who for all intents and purposes, if she's not the mom in Shining, there's not a whole lot of, well, to be fair, she's not a whole lot of meat on her bone anyway. She's about this big. But, if she's not the mom in Shining, she's not Olive Oil, there's not a whole lot of, things I really like off the top of my head. I think of Shelley.
Yeah.
This I do because she's so great in this. She's the wife and the mother just going, she's the straight man to Christopher Lloyd and Hulk's shenanigans. It's so funny. The kids are great, and yes, Undertaker and that ridiculous cameo. Oh my goodness, it's so bad.
And the dubbed voice for Undertaker. If you don't watch this movie for anything else, watch it to hear the voice that comes out of his body.
Yeah, it's somewhere you're thinking, where is Ross Bagdasarian and Howdy behind the scenes? And if you don't know who that is, you're too young. Look it up, and we'll see you on this when it happens, because that's what I think of when I think of the Undertaker's voice in this movie.
Seriously.
I am so grateful I knew who the hell that is, too. I'll pop that right back into my... There it is. There we go. Very good.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you. It's going to be a fun month. And
Definitely.
JJ promised me it'd be wrestling because usually it was supposed to this year be WrestleMania month because of March. It was supposed to be, and of course WWE moved up 2 weeks. We're like, okay, do we shift an entire month because the E moved their schedule? No. So we're gonna stick with March, and plus it's my birthday month, and wrestling for my birthday month is always a good thing for me. So, it gives me a chance to not only showcase the review of Legendary and the review of The Wrestler, which, again, Legendary and Wrestler I've both seen a lot of thanks to Jay, but I also get to comment on No Holds Barred, which, you guys, full disclosure, we still haven't taped that. We haven't taped it because we're going live. So I don't know what I'm going to say about No Holds Barred. I haven't watched it in years. It's in my queue, ready to go, but I haven't seen it in a minute. Same with They Live. Whenever he has that going up on his calendar. I was
just going to get to that. The other movie that Jeff will be featuring on is none other than the classic Roddy Piper, They Live.
Yeah, and it's so funny for me to think back and not even connect that dot that They Live was made by the guy who conceived and produced and directed Halloween. Right. Like, I forgot that John Carpenter was the guy behind They Live. So when I found that out, I dove down. I'm like, boom, dude, it's Roddy, and now I know it's John Carpenter? Yeah.
It combines two of your favorite things now, the man who created Halloween and a wrestler. And let's not shortchange Keith David as Roddy's best friend in the movie,
right?
Who has done numerous things, but is probably best known to the younger crowd as the voice of Dr. Facilier in The Princess and the Frog.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and again, we talked about this before on the show, but when you guys watch the review, I can't tell you what season or what episode number it is, but look up the South Park fight between Timmy between Timmy and Jimmy, and when you cue it up, start it at the same time the fight starts between Roddy and Keith David's character. Shot for shot. I'm not kidding. God bless Trey and Matt, man. They freaking line that shit up. It's beautiful. it's obscenely good. Is what it is. It's just
Yeah.
wicked. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to those two, reviewing those two. Again, they probably won't be live because of scheduling or whatnot, but the whole part's gonna be live, and I'm very curious to see what my reaction is going to be, because I'm gonna watch it that morning. I'm gonna watch it that morning and take my notes. That way, it's right here, and then people's reactions to my reaction, because people probably think, oh, he's a Hulkamaniac. It's like, man, the first time I saw it, I was like,
yeah. Talk Wrestling usually goes at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern.
right.
So for this episode, we will do my show, Renegades Reviews, live at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
That way, if we go a little longer than normal, we'll just end up segueing right into Talk Wrestling.
Yeah, it's and again, Talk Wrestling is going to be a completely open format. I know usually is anyway, but I ask me anything, and I do mean anything. And JJ knows a lot better than most. If I'm able to answer within reason and without causing a complete, mental cascade for other people involved, I'll answer the question. And if I can't say it, then I will say that, and I'll say why. So.
And he may just PM you later to answer your question. That way it's not live, but you get your answer.
Right. And it's there's
especially if you send him a super chat.
It's very true. Exactly. And
speaking of super chats, get your questions ready, because in a few moments we are going to have a Q&A portion. Super chats will get answered first.
Yep.
But I will answer just about anything that gets thrown up there.
Right.
Every dollar counts, as Jeff is always saying.
Yeah. I do want to bring this up, though, because it pertains to your last month's reviews. How did Tom Hanks' month go? I wanted to see reviews for News of the World, Da Vinci Code, the full trilogy, and Sully, and Greyhound. Report Radio, he did. I know he did.
I did none of those.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, there you go.
Tom Hanks' month went very well, Report Card Radio.
It did, yeah.
Tom Hanks, like I was saying about Dwayne Johnson, Tom Hanks has so much meat on his bone that Tom Hanks is going to get a part 2 probably January of next year to finish off everything that I left off, because I still have everything. The Terminal was the last thing I covered. So everything that came out from after the Terminal to now, I still have to cover. And then there's still early movies that I didn't have when I started that I want to try to get into as well. Films like his very first movie, forgive me if I misquote the title right now, something like He Knows You're Alone, something along those lines, is a horror movie that Tom Hanks is in, his very first role. He's not even the star.
Yeah. Right.
He's just a featured in it, but I want to crack into that because it's his first appearance. Some TV movies like Mazes and Monsters. Nothing in Common, I want to say is the name of it, with him and Jackie Gleason.
Okay. He Knows You're Alone is the horror movie you were talking about.
Yes.
What was one you just said?
Nothing in Common.
Nothing in Common. 1986.
Jackie Gleason.
Oh God, the poster's tremendous. Yeah, that's awesome.
Volunteers, another one of him and John Candy.
Yeah.
Early film that I don't have yet that I want to try and get into.
Right. By the way, Nothing in Common, Gary Marshall film. So can't go wrong there.
Go. So there's still, like I said, quite a bit of meat on the Tom Hanks bone that I will be getting into and tackling to get to all those.
And plus, a lot of his stuff falls into different categories also.
Yeah, different subgenres.
At some point, there'll be a Pixar month. Tom Hanks is all over that shit. So,
yeah. I'm not even going to cover the Toy Story movies because I'm saving that for when I do Pixar month.
Yeah.
Depending on how many movies I still have left to do, the Da Vinci movies may get moved into trilogy month.
Right.
Because April is going to be trilogies.
There you go.
Trilogies like the Back to the Future trilogy, the Mighty Ducks trilogy, The Bill and Ted trilogy, which is now a trilogy with the film they released last year.
Yep.
Um, I forget what else I have on deck. Friday, the Friday trilogy. Ironically, I have that one set up so that next Friday falls on 420. Yes, I did that on purpose. You know, so
That's awesome.
I've got a bunch of stuff in store there for that. So depending on how many more Tom Hanks films come out between now and January of 2022, the Da Vinci movies may get bumped into a trilogy month.
Yep.
We're just going to have to see where that goes.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks. There's so much he's done, and
exactly.
You figure Polar Express is a great example. That's a Christmas movie, so that's going to be That's going to be in December. If he does it at all this year, it'll be in December. Because that's one of our mutual favorites. So, there's that. There's just so many. He was part of different movies that you don't even know he's there, but he's there. He's in there. So yeah. I would say, like
the Simpsons movie, he has a very brief cameo because you know how the Simpsons do with their celebrity cameos.
Oh yeah.
So they went balls to the wall for the movie. Tom Hanks has a cameo in the Simpsons movie. Yeah. I doubt I'll cover that one because it is a cameo.
Right.
But he's there.
And even if it's not his month, it may get covered anyway if they're in different months.
Yeah. Maybe when I do other animation movies, I don't think I have enough to feature like a DreamWorks month. Obviously, I'm doing Disney months. Right. I don't think I have enough to do a DreamWorks month, but I could do like other animated classics or non-Disney animated classics and do like an American Tail, the Simpsons movies, All Dogs Go to Heaven, The Land Before Time. Yeah. Maybe not the 25 sequels that came after it, but at least the original.
It's so funny. When I think about an American Tail, I think about Five Goes West. And I think about like having to choose that weekend between going to see that or going to see the Rescuers Down Under. I was like, but see both. So yeah, it was a tough time for 8-year-old me for sure.
Hey, the one movie choice that I always come back to, me and my dad went to the theaters, and this was when Lakewood Center Mall had 2 movie theaters. There was the main one, and there was Lakewood Center South.
Yeah.
Me and my dad went to Lakewood Center South, and we were going to go see Big Top Pee-wee.
Nice.
I wanted to go see Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Could you just imagine the 2 films and the total opposites? You got Pee-wee Herman.
They're a bit different, yeah.
Pee-wee Herman in the weaker of his films, let's be honest.
The first 2, right. You're absolutely correct, yes.
And Jason Takes Manhattan, quite possibly the most horrible piece of garbage this side of Jason X, because Jason X blew it out the water. Well, but Jason X wasn't for like another decade,
and to absolve Manhattan of pure responsibility, Jason Goes to Hell was a piece of shit too. It really was. It was so bad. Like we said, anything past part 4, you're treading on very thin, good movie ice right there.
I like Jason Goes to Hell more than I did Manhattan, but that's not saying much.
No, it's not. It's not at all. And again, if we do a horror dive at some point, this year,
it will be there eventually.
Oh God, just yeah. I mean, 6 is only good in pieces, but 5 and then the rest are just bad. I went and saw the 2009.
Me too.
Hodgepodge hemo, whatever we're gonna call it, of it, and I think I brought my brother with me. We were both like, "What the hell did we just do?"
They basically tried to shove the first 3 movies into one movie.
I was gonna say it's it's one of those things where people either, we're going off in the weeds here again. Here we go. People either liked Rise of Skywalker because it wrapped up everything in a little 2-hour bow, or they got pissed for doing the exact same thing because they threw a lot of shit at us at Rise of Skywalker. Like, okay, here's our apology for screwing up the last 4 years or the last 40 years. Like, I didn't need that much information. I really didn't. Same with Friday the 13th. You know, it's like the 2009 remake, reboot, whatever. It's just, it was very much. It tried to capture the spirit of Jason, but it was just too much in a small window. And when you think about the fact that it's a horror movie, it's an even smaller time window to begin with.
Yeah.
So they threw.
Very rarely do you find a horror movie that goes past an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you find a horror movie that goes past 2 hours and it's not well written, well everything, then you find yourself ready to just like, okay, I'm done with this. I can't anymore. So it's crazy. Anyway.
But yeah, so August we have, or not August, April we have trilogy.
Yes.
May is going to be our hodgepodge of science fiction because of May the 4th. So we're going to feature the Star Wars films as well as Boldly Go, where no man has gone before, and cover the Star Trek films as well.
Yay. So I missed RCR's comments during the horror breakdown there, and I thought it's a trilogy, so you can do either one of those. So either trilogy or horror movies. So, but I don't think you've seen those yet. So
no, I have not.
And then he goes, "My brother worked on Jason X. I'm sorry for your brother. What do you want me to do?" And he says, "It's really not saying much. Jason Goes to Hell was the best of 8, 9, and 10. Exactly. Of 8, 9, and 10, Jason Goes to Hell was definitely the best.
9, 8, 10.
Yeah. 10 ranks
and
below.
I give 8 the edge if for no other reason but for that scene of Jason kicking the boombox walking down the street,
which is just it is the greatest meme in the history of Jason. It really is. And this guy's on the street just like, what the hell? Awesome. Anyway, yeah, you've got a hell of a lineup coming up, and I'm really excited to not only be a part of a lot of the reviews, but also to watch from here and watch them unfold, and because like you said, you're doing the sci-fi month. I've seen the majority of those, and I'm very grateful I actually own those. I can
I've seen a good
check them
majority.
out again, just to get a fresh perspective before I either come on the show review with you or watch your review.
Yeah, I've seen a good majority of them too, with the exception of the later Star Trek movies, like I've told you.
Right.
I haven't seen anything past Generations from start to finish.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've seen bits and pieces because roommates that I lived with were Star Trek fans, but I haven't seen all the way through.
Right.
I'm also looking to put together a month. I don't know if it'll be this year or if it'll be a holdover till next year. Much like the trilogies, I'm looking to do a month that I call 2 Count, where there's only 2 films.
Right.
It didn't turn into a trilogy or anything. So like My Girl and My Girl 2.
Oh God, I'm not watching those.
Just as an example, Father of the Bride 2.
Right. Well, yeah, there really was no point of a third one there, so.
But movies along those lines, I'm looking to try to do a month of. Should be interesting. October,
always,
like I said, is going to be horror movies, and we're going to be paying tributes to the classics. July, in honor of the grand opening of Disneyland, I'm going to be tackling the first part of Walt Disney Classics.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
I did have to expand a little bit on the Snow White lineage in order to fit it into 2 months, because this year and then the following year we'll be rounding them out, what I don't get to this year. So just to stretch it to fill the extra days, I had to expand slightly, but it's basically the Snow White lineage with just a couple of added extras in there. Films like DuckTales the movie I threw in there.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, okay, sorry, he commented, but then he realized he messed up. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
So there is that. Let's see what else we got here. All right. So,
and then of course December will be Christmas movies.
Right. And
as it should be.
And people are like, well, why aren't you doing just holidays? It's like okay. If you can name right now off the top of your head 10 holiday movies that weren't Christmas centric by default, like if they focused on Hanukkah only or Kwanzaa only or whatever only, please let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be opposed to
No.
doing 8 nights of Hanukkah films
Right?
if there's 8 nights to do it. And yes, there is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. I know someone is going to throw that in the comments. That is one.
Okay.
That is one.
Right, exactly.
You've got 7 others. I'm down.
Right?
We'll make those double feature days. We'll do a Christmas film during the day, and at nighttime around sundown, we'll make a Hanukkah film pop up.
Yeah, I am not opposed to that at all because,
I got much respect. My ex was Jewish. My daughter is raised Jewish because of her being Jewish.
Yep.
So I've got no problem paying respect to Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Where it becomes difficult, aside from Valentine's Day, where you can find a ton of love stories, Halloween, where you can find a ton of horror movies, and even non-scary, more family-oriented films to show, like The Addams Family or Beetlejuice or Ghostbusters. And Christmas is show me 30 days of Thanksgiving films.
Right.
Show me 30 days of St. Patrick's Day films or Easter films.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean 30 days of films where people get drunk. Because, there's more to St. Patrick's Day than just drinking.
What?
Give me some ideas, and I'll put together a month for those.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So over my shoulder here,
yes,
you can probably see a stack there of new acquisitions that have arrived. We're going to go ahead and do some openings because I know that those type of things usually get some good views.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make your screen bigger so they can see you do this better. There you go.
No problem. Now, before I get commotion from the peanut gallery here, Jeff, yes, some of these movies I already owned on DVD, so I'm upgrading to Blu-ray.
Got it.
Some of them are movies that I don't currently own and am getting to expand my collection or because I'm going to be reviewing them.
Right.
The first one that got opened, Star Trek Beyond.
Love it. Love it.
I do have to give a small shout out to Walmart.com, Target.com,
right,
and Disney Movie Rewards. That is where all of these movies come from. So give a brief shameless plug to those places. And this one looks like it's a DVD. The Marine 2.
Oh, wow, there you go.
So now I own the first 4 out of, I believe, 6 Marine movies. The first 2 on DVD, 3 and 4 are on Blu-ray. Just need to get the last 2 now, apparently. I may have ordered them and I don't remember, so if they pop up here, I will be pleasantly surprised. We shall see. Of course, some of these don't want to cooperate. 21 Jump Street.
The movie?
And 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 21 Jump Street, the movie.
Right.
Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Right.
Featuring a brief appearance by Mr. Depp in the climatic scene.
As far as Star Trek goes, the Star Trek movies, the Kelvin timeline trilogy is definitely an acquired taste. And I said this, I think we talked about this last week, Jay and I did. You have to realize you're not watching the Shatner universe. You're not watching the same timeline. So keep that in mind. I like them, but they're not everybody's cup of tea. I'm also a huge, like, overly obsessive Trek fan. So you really have to be aware that it's an alternate timeline, and you're not going to get your usual, Shatner, Nimoy, DeForest Kelley rapport. It's totally different place. So anyway,
we got, while you were talking that, I opened a package with The Money Pit.
Oh my goodness. Nice. That's awesome.
And for next year's Black History Month, Harriet.
Oh, there you go.
The story of Harriet Tubman.
Right.
And Selma, about Martin Luther King. And the historic march from Selma to Montgomery.
That's heavy shit.
Hey. We've been covering some heavy shit, have we not? I mean, Roots.
I would say so.
Which, by the way, both Roots and Song of the South garnered about 15 views apiece. So
Good.
I am quite happy about that one.
I was very nervous about Song of the South. I said it then, I say it now. It's almost like you don't want to touch that, but anyway.
The Fate of the Furious.
Ooh, there you go.
8.
Nice. It's funny. I'm sure you've got them all over the years. I went to go buy that set for Dylan's mom not too long ago. The set on DVD was not that expensive at all. It's like, son of a bitch. Figures. So.
Yeah, I was worried about Song of the South too, and I admitted that in the chat room for it. But,
Yeah.
I felt like it was something that needed to be done. I could not stray away from controversy when the Remus tales are such an important part of Black history.
Yeah, and when you factor in the recent development of the expulsion of the characters from Splash Mountain, and the fact it's not going to be Splash Mountain anymore, like it's still very topical. So
yeah, the first Star Trek.
Yeah. Again, guys, definitely want to get your hands on those, even if it's a digital copy. And just watch them because, like I said, everything past. Oh, there you go. You got them all. Beautiful. I love it.
I got the trilogy.
Love it. Everything in the entire trilogy past the opening scene, you are watching outside of the classic universe. Ooh, is that a 2-pack there, or is it just an actual?
No, it's Furious 7. Fast
7,
and Furious
okay.
7.
Yeah, the way the cover looks, it looks like the top is one movie, the bottom's the other. Oh, there you go. I never saw that one either. I heard it was really cute.
This was good. I redboxed it when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of people crap on it.
Yeah.
As people do with A, Rocky movies, and B, video game movies that were turned in, video games that were turned into movies.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it. And then here's a little Scream Queen double feature, The Fog and The Howling.
Oh, my goodness.
The Fog, which stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Janet Leigh.
There you go. One of the rare where they're both in it.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I have a topic to talk about after you're done doing your movie mail.
No worries. I'm trying to go quickly here. I've got my Disney Insiders ones. I've got my Disney Insiders ones, and then I have the big box on the bottom there. So
right.
Can I get your impression of your boy, please?
Oh, okay. Peepan!
Long overdue for an upgrade. I've got the DVD.
Right?
And the beautiful thing about the upgrade is that the ones where I have the DVD and the Blu-ray doesn't come with the DVD,
right.
I just grab an empty Blu-ray case and I compile them together.
Right.
And make my own combo packs. The ones that come with DVD and I have the DVD, I sell. Get a couple of bucks for them, you know?
Exactly. Why not? No.
The
Oh,
prequel of the
nice.
Monsters series.
Nice. Very nice.
Again, upgrading. Had it on DVD. I have both of them on DVD.
Right. Right.
Still need to get the original on Blu-ray now.
Yeah, I think I have the original on digital copy, if I remember right.
And continuing with the Peter Pan motif.
Oh, nice. Love that.
Tinkerbell and the Great
Love those
Fairy and
movies. Absolutely love those movies.
And now we go to the big box.
Big box.
And I know this is from Target. I had actually ordered a decent little shipment from Target. And, you know, I was given not a lot of crap from my roommates for frivolous spending, but I was given a decent little amount. And I was like, Target has an amazing deal right now, both in store and online. Buy two, get one free for most media.
Oh,
Books,
wow.
movies, CDs. Yeah, they do exist still.
They do exist.
So, you know, I was like, for that kind of deal, to basically end up getting two movies for free,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So, even though I canned my review prior to going live here with Jeff for this one, which will be featured tomorrow on the Jeff Meacham Network, the
42.
upgrade of 42 to Blu-ray.
There you go.
Again, for next year's Black History Month, somebody had mentioned it. I don't remember if it was on a comment on one of my videos or if it was on a live I was with you, whether it was a pay-per-view or whatever. But somebody asked me if I was going to do Malcolm X.
Yeah, that wasn't with me.
And I did not have it, but now I do for next year's Black History Month.
Beautiful.
So you've already now seen 3 films for next year. Harriet, Selma, and Malcolm X. Already starting out to be a heavy-hitting lineup.
Right?
Fighting with My Family.
Which I still have not seen.
The Story of Paige,
Yes.
starring The Rock.
Amongst many
This
others
was a
that were
good
from
movie.
I heard it was really good.
It
And
was a really good movie. I
Right.
really enjoyed. Let me see if I can get her name right. Lena Headley, the chick from Game of Thrones, Heidi, plays Paige's mom in this. She was really good. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I know a lot of people speak highly of her on that show. I really enjoyed her here. And then to round out my movie mail, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, and Bride of Chucky.
speaking of my soul,
The only one I am now missing on Blu-ray is Seed.
Yeah. Question on those. Did they come with digital copies? I
do not know. If they do, they are going on to my Vudu because I do not have digital of them yet.
I understand that. That's not why I was asking. I own the series. I don't give a shit. My thing was, I've yet to see a digital copy release with any of their Blu-ray DVD releases. So I'm just like, what the hell? Why aren't they pulling that trigger?
Sometimes you can hear paper shaking around in there.
Right.
I only hear movie, but that doesn't mean that there's not one tucked in there.
Right.
Walmart is notorious for DVD Blu-ray or Blu-ray digital and it not staying on there that it is.
Right.
So considering those came from Wally World, they very well could have the DVDs or the digital copy in there.
Very well could. Very well could.
So that is my movie mail for this month.
Right.
One DVD.
Right.
And a obscene stack of Blu-rays.
Which, as it should be, damn it. As it should be. So before we get in,
I have to say it is difficult for me to just let those stack up until we do these episodes.
right?
Because you know me, I want to rip into them so bad. I wanted to watch the Blu-ray of 42 when I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I already owned the DVD, which came with a digital copy. So I just
Awesome.
watched it digitally because I was going to go and do No Holds Barred after. I did a double feature that night.
Okay, cool.
You know, a classy, respectable movie, and then No Holds Barred.
Damn. Jeez.
I just had to get one out there. I was itching to rip into it, but it was like, so which package is it?
Yeah.
You don't want to open every package to find it, and then there's nothing to open on the air.
Yeah, terrible.
Like I said, I enjoy doing this movie mail feature as part of Renegade Recap because I feel like it brings the audience into my world.
I agree.
And seeing a little bit of what I'm into, what I am excited about getting. Again, a decent chunk of these I already owned on DVD.
Right.
And I'm going to just throw them into these cases that I purchase off of eBay. You know, empty double disc Blu-ray cases. I'll usually buy like a lot of 10. Throw them in there. Boom. Instant DVD Blu-ray combo packs.
There you go.
Always good for an upgrade.
So before we get into what may be the Q&A, I don't know if people are going to ask questions at this point. I did want to share something with the world that I shared with you in the wee hours last night, and I wanted your opinion on, but I went ahead and did what I wanted to do with it.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I saw a crowdfunding, Indiegogo, whatever you want to call it, for a quasi sequel to H2O, and it's called The Haddonfield Nightmare. And what I saw of it looks really interesting. And when you consider the fact that we never really got the resolution of the story with John, Laurie's son, in H2O, like we saw what happened to Laurie in Resurrection, that was the end of Laurie. She went bye-bye, right? But we don't know what happened beyond that with John and with his girl and with everything like that. So very curious on how it's going to present itself when it does lay out. And the reason I sound like I'm stoned is because the damn thing froze on me here, if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good, because I can't see or hear anything right now because the screen's totally frozen. So you have to bear with me here a little bit.
Which is fine because the image is up, so we don't see that you're frozen.
Cool, even better. So, anyway, so I actually was just kind of looking around. I was in the group I'm in on Michael Myers called it's more so centric on the Bloomfield the Blumhouse trilogy, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends coming up. So, but I saw this was the top of the page. It was like an announcement. Oh, what's this? So I was looking at the reviews for it and whatnot, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting. I'm gonna have to check this out. So I was reading the synopsis and doing everything like that. Ended up liking what I saw. So I went ahead and put my contribution in there, and also took care of a friend of the channel, because I know she's a Halloween fan as well. Hi, buddy. What's up? I'm live on the air. What do you need?
Oh, I didn't know you were live.
Yeah, I need her and you out. That's why everything's up, buddy. Come on, common sense. Dylan, I know whether you know or not. Common sense. Out, please, guys. Thank you. Okay, Jay, if you can still hear me, I'm gonna go on the phone so I can be on camera when I do this, because I'm about to lose the shot here anyway.
Okay.
Just hang on 1 second here. Okay, let's do this.
While Jeff does that, go ahead and start getting your questions ready, folks. Because for about the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to open the floor for Q&A. I'll be happy to answer any movie questions that you guys have, as long as it doesn't pertain to essentially me giving my thoughts on a movie because I'd want to save that for an episode of the show.
Right.
But I'm more than willing to answer any questions. Super chats will take precedent over normal comments and questions, but I will answer any normal comments and questions that there are as well. As Jeff
Agreed.
always says, remember that super chats, even if it's just $1, do wonders to help the channel with Jeff's equipment and whatnot,
Any of that,
or
really. Yeah.
equipment for me, more movies like I need them for me,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
because all the super chat funds from this show get split 50-50, whereas the super chats on Jeff's normal shows are all for him. So I get a little something out of this as well.
Right,
to help
exactly.
try to fund and upgrade my stuff.
Yep. Okay, let's see if this works this time. Once more with feeling, kids. Looks like it worked that time. That's good. All right. Now, if I do this, what does that do? Okay. Very good. So now it's playing.
But yeah, I looked into that Haddonfield Nightmare thing also. I actually still have the tab up on my computer because I think
nice.
I'm going to, once I get paid, sign up for the Blu-ray to go with my Halloween collection.
That's exactly what I did. But
it looks interesting, and like you said, the resolution of the characters we didn't get resolution for in H2O, which was my first experience to Halloween, I believe. I don't remember if I saw the original before I saw H2O or if I saw H2O first, but
yeah,
kind of
funny.
saw them.
Yeah,
you know, 1 and 2, 2 and 1, kind of saw them, but H2O was definitely my first theatrical Halloween experience.
Right. Yeah, H2O was the first one I saw ever, and I saw it at, on home video with Dylan's mom when we first were being together. So anyway, all right, here's what I was trying to bring up. So let me go ahead and get that rolling so you guys can know exactly what I'm talking about here, and we will go ahead and minimize this, and off we go. Come on. Sorry, guys. Sound doesn't work. Come on. There we go. No, stop playing, please. There's no audio. I just realized that. All right, we're going to do this again. This damn thing. Anything to cap my ass to. Oh, geez. What now?
Gotta love technology.
That's it. All right. Try this again here. All right. Share audio. Good Lord. We're live, pal. All right. Full screen? Full screen. Okay. Today?
Hi. You guys look awesome.
Thank you.
Love these costumes. Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. See ya.
That does look very interesting. The music sounds good, very suspenseful. The way Michael is depicted in the trailer looks good. The lead actress even gives me like old school Jennifer Love Hewitt vibe.
And that's all we get.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely curious. I mean, that's all we get. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what's next? What's gonna happen? So
I don't know. Did you hear my comment?
no, I did not hear what you just said.
Okay.
No.
So I basically said I like the music in it. It's very suspenseful. I like the way Michael is depicted. You know, definitely leaves me wanting to see more. And the lead actress even gives me like a 90s Jennifer Love Hewitt type of vibe. You know, of course, she was in the I Know What You Did Last Summer series. So, you know, it plays perfectly into the 90s horror theme that they're going for with H2O having been a 90s horror. So,
Yeah. Well, basically, what they're doing is this is a sequel to H2O that takes place last year, 2020.
okay.
It's basically it takes place inside Smith Grove, and John is coming back to Haddonfield because he hasn't been to Haddonfield. He lives in Northern California, so he's coming to Haddonfield to track Michael down and avenge his mother's death. Apparently, is what the synopsis is. So,
Okay.
I'm definitely into it, man.
So then is it a sequel to H2O or a sequel
Yes.
to Resurrection?
It,
Because
that-
Laurie dies
right.
in Resurrection. So if he's coming back to avenge her death, wouldn't this then go after Resurrection?
Right. So basically, like I said when I started talking about this, we don't know what happened to John and Molly. I think her name was Michelle Williams' character. We don't know what happened to the two of them, or Ronnie, or any of them after H2O. Except all we saw was Laurie getting the knife in the back and falling off that roof. That's all we saw. So we don't know what happened to the
first
characters.
10 minutes of Resurrection.
Yeah.
And then we saw Busta Rhymes try to kung fu fight, and no Busta, that's a bad Busta.
Right.
I don't care if you woo-ha got him all in check. No Busta, that's a bad Busta.
Bad Busta, exactly. Yeah, terrible. So
nobody was screaming "Give me some mo" at Busta's performance.
No, it's only not the worst Halloween sequel because Halloween 5 exists. Anyway, just saying. 6 when they cleaned it up for producers because it's actually a pretty decent film. So anyway, so yeah, I recommend you guys go on there. It's on you can find it the Indiegogo on social media. I follow the Facebook and the Twitter pages and check out the YouTube stuff they've got so far. It looks like it's gonna be really interesting once it's all put together. So, and I couldn't resist having my name on the credits of a Halloween movie if it is not an actual Blumhouse Universal, but still it's gonna be right there. So it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So there is that. I didn't see any other questions pop in. So you guys are poop heads, and that's fine. It is what it is. It's also 4:20 in the afternoon, so some of you guys are probably busy about now. I accept that. That's fine. If you're on the East Coast, I do want to say, and it's going to I'm going to try to think of something better to bring the show home with, but I do want to bring up, unfortunately, yesterday's news that a longtime contributor to the NWA and to wrestling in general, Joseph Hudson, who was known as Josephus and as the question mark in the NWA, the new NWA franchise from Billy Corgan, passed away yesterday. We still don't know what happened. And I said it on Twitter when Marquez posted, I'll say it here now. The few interactions I did have with Joe over the years are some of my favorites in my 30 years of fandom. And I'm very, my condolences go out to his friends and his family, obviously. And I hope they are able to find resolution and peace as to what happened to Joe. He was a huge factor in the early creative of the Billy Corgan era of the NWA, when they didn't have TV yet, when they didn't have, set events yet. Josephus, drove the train along that fueled Tim Storm. So I am very sad that he has gone, and I hope that someday we will be able to meet again and talk business. I never really got to talk deeply with him, and I knowing what I know about Joe, I regret that, because he was very, very deep guy, and like I said, just a creative freaking spark that the NWA grossly needed early on in the infancy of the Billy Corgan era. So, Joe, rest in peace and Godspeed, sir.
Hear, hear.
I do get to point out that because I am up and I get to do things today at 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock for you West Coast kids, good old JM is back on the NoDQ review for the first time in a very long time. So I'm very excited to be part of that. We already talked about what happened last night on Dynamite, and probably NXT, which means I still have to watch NXT, which not a big deal. I like NXT. It was a huge night for both companies. If you're under a rock and you're just not crawling out of it, congratulations. Welcome to civilization. Paul White is now with AEW, and the Undisputed Era is officially no more on NXT, which is just crazy for me after all this time. But yeah, Adam apparently finally turned on Roddy Strong last night, so they're officially gone. It's crazy that they're moving on from such what has been a major staple of the franchise. It's crazy. So
Definitely. And before Jeff joins the No DQ review, don't forget to tune in at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, over on my channel, the Casa D18 Studios, for today's review of Foxy Brown, the final installment of the blaxploitation films that I've been taking a look at this week, the second of a double header of Pam Grier roles. And after covering the general synopsis, as I do, I kind of compare and contrast the two roles.
Yeah, I mean,
so make sure you tune in for that. Like I said, over on the Casa channel.
Yeah, those are very much for you modern fans of comedy movies. The character Pam Grier plays in both of them is very much a influence on the presentation of Beyonce in the Austin Powers movie. So
very much so.
Very much in the same
half
vein.
Of the namesake.
Right, Foxy
half
Cleopatra.
Of the namesake.
Yeah.
The other half comes from Cleopatra Jones, which I touched on that a little bit on the review as well.
There you go. See, it all ties together, kids.
Exactly. A nice big bow. Tomorrow, over on my channel at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, check out my review of 42,
yes,
the final of the Chadwick Boseman films that I'm talking about during Black History Month. We already covered Marshall and his portrayal of Thurgood Marshall. We already covered Get On Up and his portrayal of James Brown.
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about 42 and his portrayal of Jackie Robinson, the first black man to play Major League Professional Baseball with the white players, and all of the prejudice and racism that he dealt with going into that. So make sure you tune in tomorrow on the Casa channel for that, and then replay following right here on the Jeff Meacham Network as well. What time will the replay be going up, sir?
It should be going about 7 o'clock, 4 Eastern, 4 Pacific, rather.
So. Okay, so about an hour after my review starts, you'll catch the encore presentation right here on the Jeff Meacham Network.
Now is
Saturday?
It's already in my shared folder, right? I'll just download it and put it up, right?
Not yet. I still need to edit it and put it there. I just finished canning it prior to going on.
That's right, you did. You're right. You said that. I'm sorry, my bad.
Saturday on the Casa D18 Studios channel, I will be talking about Boys in the Hood,
right,
from director John Singleton, starring Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Ice Cube, and featuring the first pairing of Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne as husband and wife. A recurring theme that would come together a little bit more prominently a few years later in What's Love Got to Do with It, where they play Ike and Tina Turner respectively. And I may have to get on that one and add that to Black History Month for next year. The story of Ike and Tina.
It's so funny to think of Lawrence Fishburne as Ike Turner when Lawrence Fishburne is not that guy at all.
That just shows what a great actor he is.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
And then on Sunday we will finish Black History Month with Will Smith as Muhammad Ali in Ali.
Yep. Love it.
So you're going to have to make sure to tune in. All of those will be 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Casa D18 Studios channel, with the replay of 42 tomorrow, like we said, at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Jeff Meacham Network as well.
Right. And it's funny, you were talking about Tom Hanks earlier having different, the different roles that you haven't even seen yet. Coming out in 2022 is Elvis. And he's playing Colonel Parker, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
There you go.
I knew about that. That's going to be very interesting to see him as Colonel Tom.
Dude, so in the span of this decade alone, decade and a half now, Walt Disney, Mr. Rogers, and Colonel Tom Parker. Dude, he's just all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of ironic when you figure that it was Forrest Gump's shimmy with the braces on that inspired Elvis's dancing.
Right.
And now he's playing Colonel Tom Parker, the manager of Elvis.
Too funny. Big G, good to see you, sir. You're literally coming in at the last few seconds here, but we love you anyway. We appreciate that.
What's going on, G? I'm still waiting for my feature on your show, bro. We tried to work it out a couple weeks ago. Things fell apart due to scheduling errors. I'm still looking to be featured on your show whenever we can make it happen, man.
And yes, G, your mail did show up today. I haven't had a chance to open it yet, but your card. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. Your card did show up today, so I'm gonna open it as soon as we got off the air here.
There we go.
I guess that's really it. Yeah.
I think we have rambled enough, good sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for allowing me this platform to try to go live once a month and
I am always glad
people to what's happened and what is coming in the future over on Renegades Reviews.
Right.
I greatly appreciate you for giving me that opportunity.
Well, just don't forget, guys. Coming up right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, coming up here in about an hour and a half, is the latest edition of Renegades Reviews. Which, again, he's still covering the Black History stuff. We're going into the second Pam Grier, right? Yeah, is in Foxy Brown. He said.
Yes.
Foxy Brown. I'm trying to keep it together. So Foxy Brown's coming up at 6 o'clock for you East Coast kids, 3 o'clock on the West Coast. And then an hour later, I'll be on the Nerdy Q side of things on Nerdy Q's channel covering whatever I got to cover. Because I never know what I'm going to be. I have a list in front of me, but I don't have it in front of me right now. So it's always a mystery for me. And I love it. Thank you guys for watching the Renegades Recap here on both the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa D18 Studios channel. He is the Renegade J.J. Williams. I am.
He is Jeff Meacham.
Okay, there you go. I like that too.
And until we see each other again, I will see y'all next time.